Hey there, everybody. We are back with part 3 of this ongoing series about HIV in mainstream media. Before we dive back in, I just want to take a quick moment and thank all of the viewers who've been watching so far and waiting so patiently for part 3 in this series, which took forever to make, but God, you know I just love the 90s.
168 people.
These allegations are false.
And beyond! Not asking.
Only force will make him leave.
Oh my God, I'm totally bugging.
Aren't we all? It's kind of cool in hindsight, as our nation's cultural understanding of the epidemic progressed and evolved in fits and starts. So did representations of HIV and AIDS in mainstream media. HIV even found its way into the realm of theatrical film releases. You know, the silver screen, the big time, the movies. Okay, let's take it from the top. Longtime Companion was the first big-screen narrative film whose discourse was focused on AIDS. Oh, nice legs. It's a movie about the sort of ad hoc families that came together in the face of massive discrimination, and I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought.
It's true. I knew every plot line to every soap for 6 years running. That's how I know all about life.
Fun behind-the-scenes fact, MLP actually does know everything. That take was improvised. But I digress. The film follows a group of gay men, some lovers, some friends, as the AIDS epidemic viciously and randomly strikes them down over the course of a decade.
You feeling okay?
Of course, Mary Louise Parker is there to bear witness, and while her presence in the film legitimizes it in the canon of HIV-related film and television, it's not the only reason you should watch this film.
Don't have AIDS.
If you're young enough to say that you don't remember the AIDS epidemic, you owe it to yourself to watch this film. The few and proud who have survived long term, if they're watching this, would probably tell you the same thing, but considering my experience with HIV, I can't speak for them. Hopefully someone will pipe up in the comments. From my own perspective, it's moments like this one.
What do you think happens when we die? We get to have sex again.
That make this movie self-aware, which I think adds to its value as Hollywood's first and arguably one of its strongest efforts to depict this community's struggle. Loss and grief dominated their day-to-day lives, but hope and strength remain the defining aspects of its principal characters. Campbell Scott, who plays the lead in this ensemble, shines in his role as Billy, and the film's final scene is just unmatched in its beauty. Instead of spoiling it for you, I'll just show you this brief excerpt and leave you to watch it for yourself.
We didn't wake up every day wondering who's sick now, who else is gone.
Do you ever wonder if they ever do find a cure, people would go back to sleeping around?
Oh, who cares, you know?
It's just a question.
I know, but I'm sorry, I just think that whether people do or don't sleep around or what they do, it's just not the point. I'm sick of hearing people pontificate about it.
Except us.
Except us, exactly. I just want to be there. If they ever do find a cure.
Can you imagine what it'd be like?
Like the end of World War II.
Okay, so I'm fading out here. What happens next is something you will need to figure out how to see. Rent it, Redbox it, Netflix it, I don't really care. You gotta watch this movie. Okay, moving on to And the Band, played on another solid film with an incredible cast, which was about the way the epidemic unfolded within the scientific and political communities, and centers on the perspective of a 30-something Matthew Modine. Watch Stranger Things. Best show ever. Whoa, sorry, got confused there for a second. Anyway, Modine plays an epidemiologist who can't make heads or tails of the whole thing, specifically the whole thing where all the gay men in major American cities are inexplicably dying. Sir Ian McKellen plays a gay rights activist who, ironically, succumbs to the disease. His partner, played by a young B.D. Wong, presumably remains uninfected after McKellen's death. But this movie is, by and large, about institutional power struggles. Notably, the now infamous controversy between leading American virologists and their French counterparts, who argued about which group of scientists should be credited with the discovery of the HIV virus as the death toll continued to climb.
Don Francis from the CDC sent the French samples. The French?
Are you upset?
As a matter of fact, the majority of recognizable faces in this film weren't so much the patients as they were the doctors, scientists, lawyers, and family members. This film features an epic cast, and I can't even begin to name them all, but with the power of the pause button, you'll be able to. And go! Phew. Impressive. Now moving on to It's My Party, starring Eric Roberts, who has this complicating disease giving him only a couple of days left to live.
You look great. Well, live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse.
Okay, now I'm including this movie because it satisfies all the requirements. HIV-positive protagonist, kind of a paint-by-the-numbers script, but then there's Margaret Cho, who I happen to know wants to work with me on my web series because of our implicit and important friendship, which is, of course, mutual, sassy, and not a fabrication. You know what HIV rhymes with?
Good morning!
That's right, our leading lady is back in Boys on the Side, a road trip comedy drama about three strong women. Whoopi Goldberg, down on her luck and refreshingly gay for 1995. Drew Barrymore, pregnant and looking for a way out of an abusive relationship. And MLP, whose character Robin
allergies. I have allergies.
has recently learned that she is HIV positive.
I think sometimes you have to make a change. You have to take control and say, things are going to be different. I can make them different if I believe it in my heart.
Is Robin asleep already?
Yeah, you know, she gets tired real easy.
Now, of course, it's the mid-90s. Hashtag end HIV stigma is not yet a thing, so MLP doesn't tell anyone about this.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
So instead, Whoopi has to find out from some nurse who looks like she just wandered onto set.
You telling me she's got AIDS?
Yes.
Boys on the Side deals with the issue of disclosure in HIV in an interesting way. Whoopi, who has fallen in love with MLP over the first few acts of the film, because really, who wouldn't?
We should have a little talk.
Come on, I'll give you a beer.
Spills the HIV beans to a handsome bartender played by James Remar, which leads to this scene in which MLP and Remar go out. And then this scene, which epitomizes what AIDS and HIV did to sex.
Nobody told me. Come on, come here.
She told you.
And people's perceptions of sex in the 90s.
Yeah, she told me.
Why?
It was no big deal. Casual, like it's just part of your history. Like, hey, she's on the rebound or something. Be careful, you know? It's come on, it's just like a detail.
What does that make you? Big hero bringing sex to the unfuckable? You must feel really good about yourself.
God.
And in which MLP's self-stigmatization puts the brakes on Reamer's plan to Remar.
I just want things the way they used to be. You know? When I meet someone I like, get drunk, have a good time, and fuck my brains out.
Many would argue that even today,
why can't we do that anymore?
That's still taboo.
Because you can't.
Sex is no longer safe.
That's all. You just can't.
At the outset of the 90s, Longtime Companion referred to sex as something that might be possible in the afterlife. In Boys on the Side, MLP refers to it as an impossibility.
You're so beautiful.
Looking back now, it doesn't really feel like progress.
No, I'm not.
Boys on the Side is an underrated movie. It's got a lot going on. There's an unintended murder, the Indigo Girls are in it, and a young Matthew McConaughey, and overall I'd say that if you're in the mood for some well-earned cathartic tears, you should watch it. Mr. Roger Ebert's very positive review of this film ends with this thought. To get to know someone is very difficult, but if you really do, they should be able to tell you almost anything, ask you almost anything, and that is where Boys on the Side is leading us. By the end, it has prepared its ground so completely that the final powerful scenes can be played very quietly. Some people sing a song. A room is empty. And the camera remembers who was in it. and we miss them.
You got it. Anything you need, you got it.
Next time, we'll get into the paradigmatic shift in the media landscape incited by a man who I consider to be an excellent writer and quite possibly an intellectual giant. So I've already started working on part 4, but before I leave you, let me just remind you to please take a look at Unsure Positive. Unsure Positive is the first season of a web series that I wrote, directed, and starred in, and is absolutely worth your time. It's another piece of media about an HIV-positive protagonist, and this one's a little bit different. So please check it out, and I'll see you soon.